Hi players, dzień dobry from Wrocław. My name is Asaf and welcome to my channel Easy Board Games. Today we're going to have an explanatory playthrough that I have been waiting for a very long time to do for The Great Wall that was published by Awaken Realms. A very special thank you for one of the co-designers, Łukasz Włodarczyk, I hope that I pronounce it correctly, for just being so available on the BGG forums, answering questions, just being a pleasant person, and also for verifying this video. Ready to see how it goes? Let's get to it. Alright guys, so as always I've skipped setup because I don't want to take too much of your time. So let's start just by talking about what we're seeing right now on the board, and then we're going to dive into the first season. So right now we're really at the beginning. According to the general numbers that I'm going to show you in just a few more seconds, this is the T order, and that is basically how we are going to resolve the different actions that we're going to have during the game. Over here we can see that for each faction we have 3 clerks. Those are going to be our workers that right now are blocked, and we'll be able to unblock them later. Some advisor cards. Also we have here the barricades, which is another layer of the defense. And we have some Horde cards that will need to repel or not, depends on your strategy of course. And at the top part of the card we can see the deck of the Horde cards and also 3 artifacts. Those are basically just other ways to score at the end of the game. Now as always you guys, I'm not here to give you any kind of strategy advice, I'm just going to show you how the game works. So we're going to take here about a round and a half, something like that. I think that will be enough to give you an idea on how the game actually works. So now that we're looking at the green general, we can see that at the bottom part of the general's card, we have which resources we're going to start with, and also we have a number that represents the T order. So the higher the number is, the higher the T marker is going to be. Now pay attention that in general we're supposed to have here a screen that is going to hide the resources that we have, also some tactic cards, but the green faction doesn't start right now with any tactic cards, but for the sake of the teach I'm going to leave it open. So you know, just imagine there is a screen here and the resources are not supposed to be visible to the other players. Now we're going to dive directly into the first season, and in the first year that is going to be the fall. In general, in each one of the years, this is the round marker, we're going to have 4 seasons starting with the spring, then summer, fall and winter. But as I said, in the first year of the game, that means in the first round, we are going to start directly in the fall. Now in the fall, what each player is going to do is to take one of their order cards and they're going to play it face down. Now the cards are the same for all the players, so the cards that you have, other players have it as well. So let's start with that. The green player decided to play this card, the yellow player decided to play this card, and the red player decided to play this card over here. Now that all the players have decided on which card they're going to play, simultaneously we're going to flip them face up. And then, according to the T order, we're going to set them in the order track that we have at the top right corner of the map. So the green card is going to be over here. Then we're going to have the yellow card that is going to be resolved next. And of course, we're going to have the red card that will be resolved last. Now guys, at this point I want to make just a small cut. I'm sorry about that because there is a rule that I didn't understand well, and it was a little bit too late when I discovered it. And the thing is that when you are first in the T order, then you actually can choose in which position you would like to play your command card. Then the next player, and of course the third player, is going to stay with whichever location that they have left. So I apologize for that. It's not going to affect the rest of the rules, but in any case, it's just something that was important for me to say. Let's get back to the video. This was the first part of fall, and now what we're going to do is, by the order track, we're going to start resolving the first card that we have, that of course the green faction. Now it is possible that the turn order, that means that the team markers are going to switch places during the round, but in any case we're still going to resolve the cards according to the order that we have on the order track. So let's start with it, and we're going to take the green card, the work harder, and let's see what do we have on it. move each of your clerks, again, those are our workers, to any location. Now, as a rule in this game, when you are the active player, that means that we are resolving right now your card. Again, we have here the green card, so that means that the green faction is the active player. When you are requested to move your clerks, that means that you can place them anywhere that you want, even multiple workers per location. But when you are instructed to move your clerks not on your turn, and soon we're going to see how does that happen, you need to divide your workers and you cannot place more than one in each location. When you are instructed to move your clerks, you can either move them from your playing area, from your supply, to the board, or from a location on the board to another location on the board, unless we have all the regular actions locations that are completely full, and in this case, this location is considered locked. Now guys, I think this is the most confusing aspect that we have in the Great Wall, but let me make it as simple as possible. We may have 10 locations, but all of them are being divided into one of two possible actions. Either a regular action, a red action, or a special action, those will be the green locations. A red location will be activated only if all the places are being occupied by the clerks, or if someone is doing an advanced activation. The green locations are going to be activated, doesn't matter what, if there is at least one clerk in that location. So, having said that, let's dive in and see how does it work. Now that we can move each of our clerks into any location, and I think that the first worker the green faction will place in this place, then they're going to take another one and they will place it here in the barracks. Also, they're going to take one and they will place it here in the gold resource. And you know what, just for the fun of it, they're going to place two for taking a stone. Now that they have executed the top part of the card, we're going to move on to the second box, and here it says that the other players are going to move up to two workers to any two locations. The wording of the card is a little bit confusing because it's not to any two locations, it's going to be to different locations. How do we resolve that? Again, according to the T order. So the yellow player now will decide to which two locations they would like to move their clerks. I think one of them will be moved here, and they're going to move another one to this location. Now that they have finished, the next player is the red player. So also they're going to take two of their clerks and they're going to place them in two different locations. I think they're going to place one here, and also they're going to place one worker in this location. Now that we have finished the second box, we're going to move on to the third one. And for each attack order card on the command track, sorry, that is the command track, I think I called it something else before, you may perform an advanced activation in any one location. So let's check if on the command track we have an attack order card. We do not, we only have despotism and economy. So we're going to basically ignore this part. Now that we have executed everything that we have on the card, we can place it back, and we're going to start resolving the activation. Now we need to go location by location and see if that is a location that we're going to activate. And the order of the activation depends on the active player. That means the green faction. So if we're looking, for example, on this location, this is a normal location, and because it is not filled yet with clerks, then this location is not going to be activated. On the other hand, 1, 2, and 3 locations are 100% going to be activated because this is a special location. But in any case, the active player can decide which location will be activated first. Also, this location will not be activated, but this one will. And even if you don't have your clerks, right, your workers, in a location that is supposed to be activated, in any case, you are going to activate it. So because the green player can decide which one of the locations can be activated first, they're going to choose this location. This location that is called the Builder's Encampment allows us to build for each one of the clerks that we have here, allows us to build either a wall section or a barricade. in order to build part of the wall, we need to see how many resources it's going to cost us, and this is stated always at the topmost part of the wall. Obviously, right now we have nothing, so the price is going to be 5 resources of any combination between gold, stone, and wood. So the red player, just for the example, is going to take 3 wood, 1 gold, and 1 stone. All of this is going to go back to the main supply, and that will allow them to take the first part of the wall and place it in any location that they would like. I think that they're going to place it right over here, and the amount of honor, those are the victory points that we have in this game, equal to the cost of that part of the wall or barricade that we built. So the red player now is going to receive 5 honor because they spent 5 resources. Finishing with this action, now we're going to remove this clerk back to the supply of the red player, and the green player now is going to choose another location that they're going to activate. Let's move on to the Emperor's Embassy, and we have here 2 clerks from 2 different factions. So in order to understand who is the player that is going to activate first, you guessed it, we're going to go to the T order. Now, because the green marker is on top of the yellow marker, the green player is going to activate first. We have here 2 possibilities. Either we're going to unblock for 2 gold one of our clerks, or we're going to hire another advisor. So the green player would like to hire another advisor. We're going to pay now 1 gold per advisor that we already have, plus the new advisor. We can see that we have 1 active advisor, 1 supporting advisor, and with a third one, it means that we're going to have 3 advisors, so we need to pay 3 gold. No problem, 1, 2, 3 gold is going to go back to the main supply, and now we need to choose one of the advisors that we have here, and then we're going to have 2 options. So again, just for the fun of it, let's take this one. Doesn't matter what it says on it right now. And now the option that we have is either to put this advisor as an active advisor, that means face up, or add it as a supportive advisor. The green player decided that they want another supporting advisor, so we're going to simply place this card underneath, and now we can see that we have 2 of those supporting advisors. Before we're finishing the action of the green player, we need to advance with all the advisor cards, so this one is going to slide to the left, and we're going to take another advisor card and immediately going to place him right over here. Now that the green player has finished their activation, we can take them out back to our supply, and now it's the yellow's turn to activate their action. What they would like to do is to pay 2 gold, so 2 gold is going to go back to the main supply, and they decide obviously not to hire an advisor, but actually to unblock one of their already existing clerks there, so this clerk is going to go to their supply. Finishing with that, we're going to remove now this clerk, and we're going to move on to the next action that the green player would like to activate. So let's go to this one. Again, this is a normal action, right? Red location. So because we have here all of the spaces filled with clerks, we can activate it. Now, 1, 2, 3, and 4 locations are to gather resources, basically. So the green player is going to take 2 stone, the yellow player is going to take 1 stone. Then, if we don't have an overseer in this location, now we can buy an overseer. That means that we're going to pay a certain price in order to take one of our soldiers, doesn't matter if it's an archer, a spearman, or even a horseman, and we're going to place them in the first location that we have because we don't have an overseer. If we already had an overseer, now we can upgrade that overseer by paying the next cost and move them 1 step to the right. So because we're resolving it, as you guessed it again, according to the T order, the green player needs to decide if they would like to do it. The cost is going to be 2 wood. So 2 wood we're going to take from their supply and we're going to pay it to the main supply. And they're going to choose a spearman to place in this location. Now the yellow player can decide if they would like to do it as well, but for now they do not wish to do that. Now that the green player has upgraded their overseer, even if they didn't have, it's still considered to be like an upgrade, we can see something that we have on their general card. On this general card it says each time you upgrade an overseer, you're going to take 2 honor per supporting advisor that you have. So again, even though they didn't have an overseer, that is considered like an upgrade. They have 2 supporting advisors, so that means that they're going to receive 4 honor. So from 0, they're going to go up to 4. Now that we finished with the overseers, we're going to move on to the third step that we have, and that is again an optional thing, just like with the overseer, to donate resources. Each player, again according to the T order, decides if they're going to donate resources to this location that later is going to help different players to build some more barricades and also wall sections. The green player would like to donate 1 stone. They're going to place it here, and also it's going to credit them with 2 honor, just like we can see on these 3 arrows. So from 4 honor, they're going to go up to 6. The yellow player, again, does not want to do it. They have only 1 stone they got from it. They do not wish to donate this resource, so nothing happens with that. Now that we finished with these actions, we can remove all the clerks from this location back to the supply of the corresponding players. Now, if the red clerk would have still been here, just like we've seen before, when they're building a barricade or a part of the wall, they have to use, first of all, the resources that are situated here, and that is going to actually give them a discount from the actual price. So the green player didn't want the red player to have this type of discount, and this is why they decided to activate this location first. Again, this is of course not our situation, so doesn't matter for now. And we're going to move on to the last location that we have, and this is the barracks. Now, another thing that I still haven't mentioned, but we're going to see it now, is every time that you have this flag icon, that is the icon of shame. If you are the only player in a location with this flag and you're going to activate it, you're going to receive 1 shame token. We're going to talk about it in just a few more seconds, and there is only 1 exception to this, and this is when you're doing an advanced activation. So first things first, let's take 1 of these shame tokens. We're going to take it from the supply, and now we need to place it on 1 of 2 locations. If we already have a Horde card in our possession, we can place it in any one of these 2 locations. That means that at the end of the game, we're not going to receive victory points, honor points for that card. Or what we can do is to take this token and place it underneath any one of our soldiers. That means that that soldier, we cannot use it unless we're going to remove this token by paying 2 chi at one of the next seasons that we're going to see soon enough. So what we're going to do, we will take this shame token and we're going to place it underneath this spearman. And we're going to move on to resolving the action itself. So for each cleric that we have here, we'll be able to recruit 1 soldier. It can be either a spearman, an archer, or a horseman. I think that for now, what the green player would like to do is to actually recruit an archer. That is going to cost them 2 chi and 1 wood. And now that we're recruiting the archer, we're going to have a small sequence. First of all, we're going to take the archer from our supply, and we can choose on which segment of the wall we would like to place them, and it has to be one of these red locations that we have on the wall. When the wall is not built yet, we have only 1 location, but the higher we're going to build the wall, the more places will be there for archers. If there are no available places for archer in that wall segment, we cannot place our archer. So what is going to happen now? I think they're going to place their archer right over here, and they're going to attack immediately. That is part of the procedure. And because you're attacking with an archer, you're going to take one of these wound markers and you're going to place it in one of the 3 vital spaces that we have on that corresponding Horde card. Right now we have only 1 in this section, so they would be able to place it only on this card. If we would have had here more cards, then they can choose on which card they would like to place it. But again, only in that wall section where we have placed our archer. When you're placing this wound marker, you are not receiving the bonus that you have underneath it, which is not the case when you're attacking with a horseman or with a spearman. So let's take this wound marker and place it over here. Now we can remove this clerk back to the supply of the green player. And now that we have finished the activation of the green player, I would like to show you this advisor card that says after your activation step, you may attack with one soldier, doesn't matter which one, on each wall section. So we have only one soldier here, and that is an archer, so we can attack again with it, and that means that we're going to take another wound marker and we're going to place it on one of the vital spaces, doesn't matter where. So just for the fun of it, let's place it over here. We have finished now with the activation of the green player, and we're going to move on to the activation of the next card on the command track, and that is the yellow player. So their card is called Despotism, and let's start resolving it one box at a time from top to bottom. And now that I've explained a little bit more, I would like to accelerate the explanation just a bit so I will be able to show you a bit more of the game. In this box, it says move up to 4 of your clerks to any locations. For each economy card on the command track, move 2 additional clerks. And what do you know? We do have here an economy card, so that means they will be able to move up to 6 of their clerks. Now we're going to move on to the other player section, and it says move up to 2 workers to any 2 different locations. We're going to start with the green player, and for the red player, they would like to place 1 worker here, and the second clerk they would like to place here. Now we're going to move on to the third box. So you may perform an advanced activation in any one location. Obviously, they will not need to use it now, but in general, it is a possibility. And we're going to start resolving it actually from here. Now, according to the T order, we're going to start with a yellow player, and for each one of the clerks that you have there, you're going to move your T marker 1 step up. So what is happening now is that the yellow player is going to move up 1. That means that the green player now is the second in the T order, but now when the red player needs to resolve it, they're going to do the same. So they're going to be now, red player is going to be in second location, and the green player has actually been pushed to the last location on the T track. And let's move on to the next activation. The yellow player will decide to resolve this, since they are not alone, right? We have here 2 factions, no shame tokens are going to be taken. So the yellow player is going to take 3 gold, and the green player is going to take 2 gold. Now we need to see if any one of them would like to upgrade an overseer, starting with the yellow player, of course, and they would like to do that, so they're going to pay 2 stone back to the supply. They're going to take one of their soldiers to place in the first location. Then the green player is going to do the same. Now the question is if they would like to donate one of the resources. The yellow player would absolutely like to do that, so they're going to place this resource over here. And by doing that, it's going to give them 2 honor. Now that we have finished with that, we're going to remove all the clerks from this location back to their own factions. And we're going to move on to the next location that the yellow player would like to activate. So they're going to activate this location. Now that we have here 2 resources, we have to use them. So either we're going to build the next floor on this wall, that is going to cost us 10 resources -2, so only 8, but it's actually still a heavy price for them, so they're simply going to place the first part of the wall in any one of these locations. They're going to build it right over here, so that is 2 resources, and now they need to pay 3 more. That will credit them with 5 honor, so from 2 we're going to go to 7, and we can remove this clerk as well. And now, even though they don't have here workers, they have to activate this place. Unfortunately for the green player, they are the only one that chose to go to this location. So they're going to receive another shame token. So they're going to simply place it again underneath one of their spearmen. But at least they can recruit. So I think what they're going to do is to recruit now a spearman that is going to cost them 2 stone and 1 wood. That is going to go back to the supply. And again, as we've seen before, when you are recruiting, you're going to immediately attack, but you can choose which Horde card you're going to attack on the different sections of the wall. So I think they're going to attack this card over here, and now they are going to take the bonus of the same place that they are going to place their spearmen. In this case, it's going to be 1 gold. Now we can remove this clerk back, and we still have this location to resolve. The yellow player is going to activate first because they are first in the T order, and they would like to unblock a second clerk. So again, it's going to cost for them 2 gold that is going to go back to the supply. And they're going to take another one of their clerks and place them at their own playing area. Now the red player is going to do pretty much the same, so also 2 gold that they're paying, and they're going to take this clerk place back with them. Now that we have finished activating this location, both of the clerks are going to go back to their homes. Now that we have finished with the activation of the yellow player, we're going to move on to the red player, and they, as you remember, play the card that is called Economy. The first box that we have says that you may upgrade 1 overseer for free. So that is great because actually, as you remember, even just placing 1 overseer in one of the boxes for the first time is considered an upgrade. So they're going to take one of their spearmen. Again, they could have taken a horseman, they could have taken an archer. And I think what they're going to do is to place it over here. Then it says move up to 3 of your clerks to any locations, and for each work harder card on the command track, move 1 additional worker. And what do you know? We do have here the work harder card, so that will allow them to move 4 of their clerks. Now moving on to the next box of the other players, move up to 2 clerks to any 2 different locations. So again, according to the T order, the yellow player is going to do it first. The green player decided to place 1 worker here and another one here. Now that we have finished with that, the yellow player is going to decide which place is going to be activated first. Let's start here. The yellow player is going to receive 1 stone, and the red player is going to receive 2 stone. Now they can decide again according to the T order if they would like to upgrade an overseer. I think that the yellow player decides not to do it, but the red player would like to do it, so they're going to pay 2 wood back to the main supply, and that will grant them an overseer in this location. Now they can choose if to donate a resource. Both of them decide not to. We finished with this activation. We're going to remove all of them, and the yellow player now needs to decide on the next location that will be activated. But as you can see, the only place that can be activated is this one right over here. So again, according to the T order, the yellow player is going to do it first. And also, as you can see on this advisor card, you may recruit each spearman for 1 less stone. Hey, that is great. So instead of paying 2 and 1, they're going to pay only 1 stone and 1 wood in order to recruit 1 spearman and immediately attack with it. So I think they need some wood for now. Let's take this spearman and place him right over here. And of course, we can already remove this clerk. Now the red player is going to also recruit. And unfortunately, they kind of did a mistake because they don't have enough wood for 2 soldiers. So a little bit unfortunate, but at least you got to see another thing. So they are going to recruit also 1 archer. That is going to cost them 2 chi and also 1 wood. And they're going to take this archer and they're going to place it on this part of the wall, and that will allow them to attack 1 time. We're going to take this wound marker and we're going to cover this symbol. Unfortunately, they cannot recruit another unit because they don't have here enough wood. So it was a little bit of a waste, but nothing to do, you guys. We're not here for any strategy advice. With that, we have finished actually the fall season, and we're going to move on to the winter. In the winter, we have 3 steps, and the first one is firing phase. So starting from the leftmost section of the wall and moving towards the right, each part is going to fire with their archers. Again, if you have multiple factions, then according to the T order, you're going to shoot. So the red player is, of course, starting. They're going to place another wound marker. Let's place it here. And now the green player is going to deal damage in their wall section. So we're going to place this wound marker here. Now that we finished with that, we're going to move to the second step in the firing phase, and that is to check if any Horde cards were defeated. Obviously, I think you kind of guessed it. The Horde card is going to be defeated only if all the vital spaces on that card have been completely filled with either wound markers or actual soldiers, but we have none of those. We're going to move to the next step in the winter, and that is the assault phase. So now what we need to do is to compare the offensive power of the Horde card or cards, because if we have multiple of those, we're going to have them accumulating, and we need to compare it to the defense strength, which is basically what we can see on the wall, and also each one of these barricades. Each one of these barricades is worth 2 defense. So here, for example, we have 8, 10, 12, and 14. Obviously 14 is bigger than 7, then nothing is going to happen here. Moving on to the next section, we have here 6. Again, each barricade is 2, so together it's 6. Since this is the same, nothing is going to happen. On this card, we have a special effect, and it says the defense value of the wall section is halved round down, and this effect is cumulative. So in this case, we have the value 7. 8 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that's 14. Divided by 2, that's 7. 7 is equal or higher than 2, so nothing happens here. The final step in the winter is the end game check. We have 3 ways to trigger the end of the game. Either the turn marker is already at the last step, or if all wall sections are completely built, that means 3 levels of the wall in each one of the sections, or if all the shame tokens have been taken from the pool. Obviously, we're very far from all of those, so we're going to start now a second round. Now that we're going to the spring, we have 3 steps. So first of all, to advance the time track, no problem, we're going to move on here. Then we're going to place new Horde cards. How many Horde cards we need to play? That depends on the number that you can see right next to it. Since we have here 1, we're going to draw 1 Horde card and we're going to place it according to some criteria. First of all, if we have 1 wall section that is completely empty, that means no cards are nearest to the wall, then we're going to put that Horde card in that position. Since this is not the case, we have 3 Horde cards already. The next card that we're going to draw will be located according to the next Horde card, so you can't really guess what is underneath. Here it says that it's going to be in the leftmost location, so we're going to flip it to the other side and we're going to place it here. Now, one thing that I completely forgot to do at the end of the winter is to remove all the barricades that we had on the walls. If you cannot add a Horde card to a wall section because it's already filled, you're going to resolve something that is called raid. We're probably not going to see it, but again, you guys, if you're going to understand this video, it will be a piece of cake for you to complete the missing pieces from the rulebook. The third and last step is to refresh the advisor display. So the 2 locations that we have here, we're simply going to discard these advisors, and then we're going to slide the other advisors all the way to the left, and we're going to draw 2 new advisors to this track. Finishing with the spring, we're going to move on to the summer. So the first thing that we have is an overseer income. Now we need to check which overseers we have on the different boxes and give the different players the resources that are stated at the top of the box. So let's start from here. That means that we have 1 gold for green, 1 gold for yellow. In the next section, we have 1 stone for red, 1 stone for green. And in the last section, we have 1 wood for the red player. Now, specifically for the red player, I'm not so sure you can see it good with the camera, but it says during the overseer's income step, get 2 honor per and supportive advisor for each wall section with at least 1 of your archers on firing spots. So this is exactly what we have over here. We have this wall section, and because they have only 1 supportive advisor, they're going to receive 2 honor. So now they're going to have 7 honor tied with the yellow player. Next, we're going to discard shame tokens. So now each player that has a shame token or tokens can decide if they want to pay 2 chi in order to remove 1 of those shame tokens, and of course you can do it multiple times. For now, the green player has only 1 chi, so they cannot do that, and the other players simply don't have these shame tokens. Then we're going to discard the command cards. That means that now from the command track, we're going to move all of these cards over here. And now each player, again according to the T order, needs to decide if they would like to take back their cards or they're going to leave them there and receive 2 honor per card that they have there. I think Just for the fun of it, you guys, for the teach, let's say that the green player has decided to take their card. And also important to say that the betrayal card cannot be reclaimed. And red and yellow players don't want to take their cards, so both of them are going to receive 2 honor. They're going to advance together 2 steps up. Finishing with the summer, we're going to go back to the fall, and again we're going to repeat the process that we've seen before. So I think we have time for another fall and winter. Let's do that just to make sure that we understand this game well. Again, each player now is going to choose one of their command cards to play. Now we're going to flip all the cards face up and we're going to arrange them according to the T order. Now we're going to start with the yellow player and we're going to resolve the Work Harder card. We've seen it before. They can move all of their clerks to any location. Finishing with that, we're going to move on to the next box of the other players. Starting with the red player that is next in T order. The green player would like to place here a clerk, and also they're going to place a clerk here. Now that we're finished with that, we're going to move on to the last box. For each attack order card on the command track, we do have one. You may perform an advanced activation in any one location. They're going to start resolving their actions here. So now because they can do an advanced activation, they don't need to have all of the spots here completely filled, and also they're not going to receive a shame token, so not so bad. Now they're going to receive 1 gold, plus 1 gold for their overseer. And even though the green player has here an overseer, they're not going to receive resources for that since they didn't have here an activation with one of their workers. Now the yellow player can decide if they would like to upgrade their overseer. Unfortunately, they don't have 3 stone to pay, they have only 2, nothing to do with that. And also they can decide to donate one of their resources. I think they're going to do it, so 1 is going to be moved here, and also it's going to gain for them 2 honor. Now that we have finished with this activation, we're going to move on to the next location. I think we're going to decide to do it over here. The yellow is going to unblock their last worker, so they're going to pay 2 gold in order to take their last clerk into their hands. And for the green player, they would like actually to get another advisor. So they're going to pay now 4 gold because they already have 2 supporting advisors and 1 regular advisor. So with the next one, it will be 4. And they would like to have another supporting advisor. So doesn't really matter. They're going to take this one. It means that the others are going to slide to the next spot. And we're going to draw another advisor. Finishing with this activation, we're going to remove the clerks and let's move on to the next location that will be activated. And that is going to be the collect wood location. So the yellow player is going to receive 2 wood. The red is going to take 2 wood, right? 1 and 1. And the green player is going to take 1 wood. Now for the overseer, starting with the yellow player, they would like to pay 2 chi in order to place one of their overseers, no problem with that. And the red player is going to pay 3 chi in order to upgrade their overseer, so they're simply going to move on to the next box. Now for donating resources, the yellow player would like to donate 1 resource that is going to give them 2 honor. And the red player would like to do the same, so again, it's going to move over here and they're going to receive also 2 honor. The green player does not wish to do that. We finished with this location, we can move all the clerks, and now we're going to go to the last location, and that is going to be this one. So the yellow player is going to start, and here with the advisor, just like we've seen before, they can recruit 1 spearman for 1 stone less. That means that they're going to pay 1 stone and 1 wood in order to recruit one of their spearmen. Let's take this guy, and you know what, I think they need a little bit more gold. They will decide to place them over here, so 1 gold is going to be added to their supply. And the red player now is going to recruit as well. I think they're going to do the same, so 2 stone and 1 wood for 1 spearman. So now we're going to take this spearman. They can completely destroy this Horde card, but they do not wish to do so. I think they feel like they need a bit more gold. We're going to place it here, and 1 gold is going to be added to their personal supply. Now that we finished with that, we can move on to the activation of the next card, that is the attack order of the red player. Here we can see recruit 1 spearman for free. Already this is great. So 1 spearman for free, I think they're going to go for the wood over here. And then for each raised banners on the command track, recruit one more. Okay, so we do have here raised banners. They're going to recruit one more. The additional spearman is free as well. And they're going to place it, you know what, let's take 2 honor. We're going to place it here, and we're going to have now 13 honor, just like the yellow player. Moving on to the next box, we see here that attack with 2 soldiers in a chosen wall section, or recruit 1 spearman for free. Now, when you are attacking, basically you cannot attack with a soldier that is already situated on one of the Horde cards. So you can either attack with one of your archers in that wall section, or if you had soldiers that are situated in the resting zone. We haven't seen yet the resting zone, but don't worry, we'll get there a little bit later. For now, it's not relevant. So starting with the yellow player, they actually have to recruit 1 spearman for free. So what they would like to do is to take this spearman and make sure that they're killing this Horde card. Soon you'll understand why. That is going to grant them, of course, 2 honor. And the green player could have decided to shoot with this archer, but they don't have valid targets anymore, right? All the vital spots over here are completely taken. So what they're going to do is to recruit another spearman for free. And I think they really need a little bit of honor. So let's place this one here. And 2 honor is going to be added on their track. Now we move on to the last box, and it says here attack with all soldiers in all remaining wall sections. So to be honest with you guys, I don't quite remember if I actually fired with this archer. That was the only possibility that we had to attack, as you remember. So if I didn't place here a wound token, that is actually my fault. But in any case, now that we're instructed to attack with all soldiers in all remaining wall sections, that means here and here, we have nothing to attack with. So now that we've finished with resolving this card, we need to check if any one of the Horde cards have been defeated, and we do have here a defeated Horde card. So what happens now is that we need to check if a faction has here at least 1 soldier. If a faction has here 1 soldier or more, they're going to receive 2 honor. We have here only the yellow player, so they're going to receive 2 honor. No other faction is going to receive honor for that. And for each archer that you have in the same wall section, you're going to receive 2 honor. That means if we would have had here 2 green archers, they would have received 4 honor. But again, guys, this is not what we're having here. We have only 1 green archer, so they're going to receive 2 honor. Now we need to see who has the most presence on the Horde card. Obviously, it's only the yellow player that has presence, so they're going to receive this Horde card that is going to be worth 6 honor points at the end of the game. If we have a tie, then, just like you remember from the beginning, it's going to be broken by the T order. So what happens now, we're going to remove all the wound markers back to the supply. All of these spearmen are going to go back to the resting zone of the same wall section. And this card is going to be taken, flipped to the other side, and placed in the playing area of the yellow player. Now, this is an example of what can happen if you're attacking with soldiers. So we saw before that it can be either with an archer or with actual soldiers that are situated in the resting zone. So yeah, if you're instructed to attack with all soldiers, you can literally take all of the soldiers that you have here, or in our case it would have been 3 spearmen, and place them on any card that you would like in this wall section. Finishing with that, we're going to move on to the last card that we have with the raised banners of the green player, and let's start resolving it. In the first box, we can still move up to 3 of your clerks to any location. For each despotism, blah blah blah, doesn't matter because we don't have any despotism card in the command track, so we're only going to move 3 of our clerks. Now for the other players, they're going to move up to 2 of their clerks to 2 different locations. The yellow player is going to move 1 here, and also they're going to move to this location. And the red player that read the situation a little bit better, I mean, you know guys, I just want to show you some stuff. They're going to place 1 worker here, and also they decide to place a worker in this location. Now, during the activation step, each of your clerks in the barracks, that means over here, counts as 2 workers, and we're going to ignore the shame penalty from the barracks. Okay, so that's pretty sweet. And the green player, of course, since they are the active player, will decide on the activation order. So I think they're going to start from here. There is no shame icon, so they're just going to resolve it. And for each one of their workers, they're going to take 1 tactic card. So not so bad at all. We're going to add it next to their playing area. Then we can remove this and we're going to activate the next location, which will be here. So again, according to the T order, the red player is going to activate it first. That means that now red and yellow are going to switch their locations. And now the green player is going to do that, so they're going to advance 1 time. So now the yellow player has been pushed to the last position, and we have red on top and the green in the middle. Let's remove both of these clerks, and we're going to move on to the next activation. That is going to be over here. So yellow is going to receive, as you can see, 2 stone. The green player is going to receive also 2 stone because they have also 1 overseer. Now the question is if they would like to upgrade their overseers, but unfortunately both of them don't have enough wood. Now the question is if they would like to donate a resource, but now they can see that the red player is going to heavily profit from this. Both of them decide to decline, so we can simply remove the clerks and move on to the next activation. That is going to be here, and the red player would like to build a barricade. Now of course it might not be the best thing they can do here, but I would like to show you another effect that we have. Again, we have a ton of advisors, we're not going to go over all of them, but just another thing for you to see. Each time you build a barricade, you may recruit 1 spearman for free in any chosen rest zone. So they're going to take 2 resources, doesn't matter which, then they're going to place a barricade somewhere. I think they would like to place it here. This is going to grant them 2 honor, and also with the effect of the advisor, they can recruit a spearman for free in a resting zone. So let's place it for the fun over here. Now that we finished with that, let's move on to the last activation that will be here. So the green player now, if we remember with the raised banners, they're going to ignore the shame icon, and also this counts like 2 actually workers. Unfortunately, again, a miscalculation over here, so they will be able to recruit only 1 unit, so 2 stone and also 1 wood are going to go back to the supply in order to recruit 1 spearman. So they're going to take this spearman and let's place it over here, so they will take 1 stone, at least something, you guys, you know. And with that, we have finished the activation of the green player, we have finished the fall, and we're going to move on to the winter. In the winter, the first thing that we have is the firing phase. So red now is going to fire with their archer. We're going to block this symbol. Then green doesn't have valid targets, so nothing happens. And here, of course, we don't have archers. Now we're going to go from left to right to see if any Horde card have been defeated. We have none of those. So we're going to move on to the assault phase. So let's start from here. And now that I'm actually looking at the effect that we have on this Horde card, that the defense value of the wall section is half rounded down. So we have here 2 plus 7, that is 9, against basically only 4. So we have here a breach, and let's resolve it together. In a breach, each player is going to take 1 shame token for each Horde card in this wall section that they have 0 soldiers on. The green player has 1 soldier on each, the red player has 1 soldier on each, but the yellow player doesn't have at all. That means that the yellow player is going to receive 2 shame tokens that they will need to place either on the Horde card that they have in their possession or underneath one of their soldiers. I think they're going to go to place 1 here, and also a second one is going to be underneath the spearman. Then we're going to kill soldiers on each Horde card in this wall section. So killing soldiers means that any number of each player's soldiers are killed equal to the lethality, which is the number that we have below the time track. So here the lethality is 1. So on this Horde card, each player will have to kill 1 of their soldiers. Obviously, they have only 1 soldier each, so both of them are going to die, and the same is going to happen here. But the red player would like to play now a tactic card that is called Withdraw, and here it says that the effect is play when any of your soldiers is killed, save 1 soldier. So this soldier is going to be saved, and when a soldier is being saved, they're going to go to the resting zone in that wall section. the card that we have just used we can place in the discard pile, and that means that this green spearman and also this one are going to die, and of course this spearman of the red faction also is going to die. And actually guys, this is something that I didn't do before, so I apologize. Even when you are defeating a Horde card, still soldiers are going to die according to the lethality. So actually, if you remember before, we had these 3 spearmen on the card that was defeated, but still one of them should have died. So I apologize for that. We're going to remove this spearman back to the supply of the yellow player. Moving on, all the archers in the firing spots again of that wall sections are going to die. So the red archer is going to die as well. And now that we have finished the breach, we're going to check for end game conditions. We have none of those. So now I'm going to remember to actually remove this barricade from the board. And with that, we have finished the second winter and we're going to go for another round. But here, you guys, I think that I'm going to stop the playthrough. Hopefully you managed to understand what's going on over here. So I want to thank you very much for your patience. I truly appreciate it. Again, I hope that you learned something new or that you saw something that you liked. Take care, and I'll see you next time.